You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacqueline.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Well, look who's back. It's Dr. Jacqueline here on Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline presents A Better You. This program is a presentation platform, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. We have two experts who are here with us today. One is a return visitor, and the other is a first-time presenter on our program, but he is no stranger to Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline. So let's bring on our two guests. We have Mr. Hiett Ives. How are you?
Excellent, doctor. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to see you. And our other guest, Ben Shai, Doctor Who of Business. Hello, Doctor Who. Okay, Doctor Who.
Sorry, hi. How are you doing?
There you are.
You do this with the microphone on.
Well, we are thrilled to have you here.
Mime artists.
Yes. You know what? I think that you are overtaxed from being with me too much today. So this is actually our third show together today. So I'll understand if you don't want to speak to me for a few days.
I'll go backstage.
Okay. Well, I just want to give a little information to our audience in case they've not watched this program before. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is a presentation platform. There will be no interviews conducted here. And so if you're interested in being a presenter, we want to hear from expert coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. Each presenter will have 15 minutes, and we will put up a 15-minute clock, which I will illuminate right here. And if you can see in the corner where Hiett is, it says hashtag RWDJ. That actually counts down to 15. And to our two presenters, there is a time clock on the corner of our show. That is how many minutes we've been on the show. But the 15-minute timer is there highlighted. Okay. And then after you're finished your presentation, we'll have a little chat about it. And then we'll go to commercial, and then we'll bring up the second presenter. So Hiett, since he's been here before, has offered to go first, which is wonderful. And as I mentioned, Hiett was here last week on A Better You. He gave an incredible presentation and some interesting facts about the English language and grammar. I actually watched it with my mother a couple of times after the show, and we both were just blown away with homophones and tenses and using remember to do something instead of don't do something. So Hiett, today you're going to be talking to us about an extension of that, correct? Grammar?
Yes.
Oh, good. I was worried we couldn't hear you for a second.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah,
wonderful.
There.
Okay.
Where they are.
All right, you're both here. That's good to know. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put Doctor Who backstage.
Hello.
I'm going to bye. Hiett, do you have a deck today that you want to share?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you want to share that with me, that would be great. I know that today you're going to be taking us back to the early days of our nation and the source of certain words and phrases that we are using to this day. So Hiett is the author of That Ain't Not Right, The Use and Abuse of the English Language. Hiett Ives is presenting I Bet You're Unaware of This. I bet you're unaware of this, capitalized THIS. Okay. So while you're looking for your deck, I'll let people know that we also have the ability for you as a coach, consultant, or trusted advisor to put together a playlist of lessons. What this means is maybe you already have content yourself that you have developed over the years. Maybe you've done workshops or trainings. We would ask that you would edit these into 15-minute lessons, or you can hire Dr. Jacqueline LLC to do that for you. And for each lesson, whether it's presented here live on this show or it's a lesson you've already developed, we'll ask you to put together a 5-question quiz. We'll take the lesson and the quiz, we'll package it together and put it up on our Better You learning platform. And once it's there, it's available for sale. And so people will be coming to the platform to look for lessons from experts. They can get certified by the experts, and they can also play games. We've got a great gamification platform and also rewards and recognition. So please check out abetteryou.tv. And I'm going back to Hiett now.
Can you see my slide?
No, you have to share the, at the bottom of your device, it says share, and just hit that, and then I'll be happy to bring it up onto the platform.
Oh, okay. I thought I had done that. Let's see. Dang. Oh, come on, Hiett. This shouldn't be that difficult.
No worries. As soon as I see it, I'll put it up. I want to let our audience know that we also have another show this evening called In the Name of Love. And that's with my co-host, Kimmy Seltzer. And joining us from the UK is Bobby Hang, and it will be midnight there. So I'm so glad that she's staying awake for the program, and we're excited to see her. We do have several shows tomorrow. I'll just tell you about them. One is It's Your Stage. This is at 12:30 Eastern Time, and that is 5:30 in the UK. And our co-host is Azadeh, and our guest is Nina Christofferson. So we're really looking forward to that, and I'll tell you about the rest of the shows later. Okay, thank you so much, Hiett. I see your deck. Once you pull it up there, I will add it to this screen.
All right. There we go.
Okay, here we go. All
Thank
right.
you. We good to go?
Do you want to make it full screen?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Hold on. Come on.
Slideshow right there. There it is.
There we go. All right.
All right. So I'm going to minimize myself and put up the timer. As soon as you see that 15-minute timer, go ahead and take it away.
Go ahead and introduce me. I gave you an introduction.
Oh, I did just introduce you, but okay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh,
I did.
right.
That's okay. All right. So let's have some fun today. I'm going to put up the timer, and here we go.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have some fun today. We're going to start with some questions. First question, from which foreign language do we borrow the most words? If you said French, you are absolutely correct. We borrow most of our words, more words from the French language than any other. In fact, what percentage of our words are involved? What percentage of the words that we use on a day-to-day basis derive from the French language? If you said 30%, again, you're absolutely correct. And how many words does this involve? Well, something in the range of 10,000. In fact, there are 1,700 of them that we just took as they are. And we are going to use some of those today, and we will identify them as we go through doing that. All right. So we're looking at, today we're going to be looking at business words, everyday life words, culinary and fun words. I want you all to count the ones you use on a regular basis, and we'll take a little tally at the end. I did this with my wife yesterday, and she said, there are a couple of words that I didn't even know were French. So with that intro, shall we begin? We shall. Let's go. Déjà vu. Déjà vu. Déjà is already. Vu is from voir, to see, already seen. So already seen or seen before. That's déjà vu. In a sentence, I entered the room and immediately felt a sense of déjà vu. We've all done that, I'm sure. Here we go. A la mode. Now, this is an interesting word. A la mode has two disparate meanings. We're going to cover both of them. In the true word, a, in or into or at, la mode, the way, so it's in the way or in the style of or fashionable. And then there's the culinary application with ice cream. Now, The term a la mode was first used in the 7th century British England to describe a type of beef stew with vegetables braised in wine. They were a la mode, and also a la mode is French for stylish or in fashion. So we have corduroy is very a la mode this season, which you can say that's perfectly correct, or the more English use, or American use, I should say, the only way I'll eat apple pie is a la mode. So there you have the two definitions of a la mode. Cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac is actually from a colloquialism or vulgarism, cul, bottom, or ass, back end. De, from, of, sack, bag. So a cul-de-sac is the bottom or the ass end of a bag. Now, we, of course, use it more in our streets. Didn't you just buy a house on the quiet cul-de-sac? RSVP. Well, this is the abbreviation for the full word of Respondez s'il vous plaît. Respondez, meaning to reply or to answer. S'il vous plaît, si, if, vous, you, please, please, if you please. So reply if you please, RSVP. Use it in a sentence. The invitation I just received asked for an RSVP by Friday. We move on to chaise longue. Now, we've also said chaise lounge, but chaise, and in fact, when you look it up, if you Google it, it will sometimes spell it chaise longue, which is long chair, and sometimes it will go straight to chaise lounge, L-O-N-G-U, however you spell lounge, excuse me. So this is a one where we sort of half taken it. The chaise we've taken, and then long we've changed to lounge. You know, my patio furnishing is now complete with the addition of a comfortable chaise longue or chaise lounge. That's one where we've half taken it. Creme brulee. We're going to go into a number of culinary applications of the French language. This is one of my favorite, creme brulee. You know, creme, cream, brulee, burnt. You know, so what that beautiful dessert is basically burnt cream. My most favorite dessert of all is creme brulee. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a true fact. I love creme brulee, even though it is burnt cream. De jour. And this is sort of culinary in that we see it on a lot of menus. And it means de. Now, here's an interesting, I'm not a French grammarian, but it's du jour. It's a combination of de, from, of, le. So de le goes into de jour, of the day. And of course, we most often have seen this. I asked the waiter to describe their soup du jour. We've all, in fact, seen that, you know, more than once. So there's one that, you know, we rarely ask for the soup of the day. We ask for the soup du jour. Another culinary, everyday eating, drinking, café au lait. Café is coffee, of course. O, and here again, a, in, le, the. You put a and le together and you get O. Café au lait, coffee with milk. The best way to finish off a great meal is with a café au lait. Carte blanche. Carte blanche is card, and blanche is the feminine form of blanc. The French put a couple of extra letters on there and turn it into a feminine word. So it's a white card, carte blanche. And here again, we use carte blanche a whole lot more than we use white card. You have carte blanche as to what to serve, as long as it's the very best. This is another example of taking the word as is and turning it into a word that we use ourselves. Comme ci, comme ça. Comme, like, see, this, ça, that. Like this, like that. When I'm at less than my best, and you ask me how I'm doing, you're likely likely to get this answer. Come see, come saw. And I'm guessing that some of you have probably used it in that context or some other context. Personal grooming. Let's go into personal grooming. Eau de toilette. Eau, of course, is water. De, from. Toilette, toilet or water. So this is grooming water. Eau de toilette, or eau de toilette. Get my tongue untangled. Grooming water. Because its scent is lighter, eau de toilette may need to be applied more often than perfume. I guess you ladies can tell me about that a little bit. All right, here we go. Fait accompli. Fait accompli. Fait is an act or a fact. Accompli is complete fact. So you have, even though disappointing, the loss of the game is truly a fait accompli. And that's another one of those where we rarely say, the loss of the game is a accomplished fact. We say it's a fait accompli. Another culinary thing, hors d'oeuvres. Hors d'oeuvres. Now, originally, this has outside of work. Outside of work is the literal translation of that. And you also have it means little snacks, little snack food served before or outside of, which is the H-O-R-S, the main dish of the meal, which is the dovers. Hors d'oeuvres is a rough approximation of the original pronunciation. And unfortunately, today, many modern food writers have decided we needn't try to wrap our tongues around this particularly foreign phrase. So now they simply want to refer to starters or appetizers. That being said, we have little snacks before dinner, and tonight's banquet is preceded by past hors d'oeuvres. I like that better than past starters or past appetizers. Past hors d'oeuvres. Foie gras. We stay in the food area. This doesn't sound real good. It's fatty liver. That being said, one of the hors d'oeuvres being served tonight is foie gras. Grand Prix. Grand Prix. Well, that's a great or large prize. A Grand Prix, one of the greatest auto races in the world, is the Monaco Grand Prix. Joie de vivre. Let's talk about our joie de vivre. The joy of living, the joy of life. We all have joie de vivre and all wish that we had even more joie de vivre. When you live with a joie de vivre, things go so much better. And along that same line of how we look at things, let's look at laissez-faire. Laissez-faire is the second person plural of the laissez, to let or to leave, and faire to do. So let do. It's important to take a laissez-faire approach to certain things in life. Objet d'art. Now, we've all seen these. These are objects of art, usually small, usually clustered together as objet d'art, which brings up the phrase, some people's objet d'art are other people's dust collectors. And I'm guessing we've seen a lot of that on either side in many cases. Raison d'etre. Raison d'etre, of course, that is reason to be. What is your raison d'etre? Well, music was Beethoven's raison d'etre. From the French again, vis-a-vis. And this is another double meaning word. Literally, it's face-to-face, vis-a-vis. Also has another translation, if you will, use in relation to or with regard to. So you have the vis-a-vis meeting with my boss went well. The face-to-face meeting with my boss went well. I like and use this one a little more often. What are your needs and requirements vis-a-vis this assignment, regarding this assignment? So I think regarding to rather than eyeball to eyeball, but both are acceptable. Avant-garde. avant-garde, before or in advance of. You're the advanced guard of something, and again, you can use a couple of words here. You're part of the avant-garde of that new product's implementation, or I arrived as the avant-garde for the president's impending visit. So those are the two definitions of avant-garde. And let's wrap it up with faux pas. Faux pas is false or wrong step. Faux pas, false or wrong step. And I certainly hope this presentation has been without faux pas. You now have some 20 plus French phrases, the meaning and use of which you now clearly know and understand. Let's check your use of French words. If you know and use 16 to 21 of those, you're an exceptional character, exceptional territory. 10 to 15, you're an excellent user of foreign language, and especially French. So go ye and use any and all of them to your heart's content. As we go forward, there's going to be much more in many categories and examples with more sources of words and phrases. And you can have your very own copy of That Ain't Not Right, the use and abuse of the English language. Simply go to Amazon and type in my name, or That Ain't Not Right, use and abuse of the English language. And finally, you can join the That Ain't Not Right, use and abuse of the English language opt-in weekly email, and just go to hiettives.com to receive your copy. With that, I will return control to Dr. Jacqueline.
I'm actually giving you a standing ovation. I am standing here, and I thought that was brilliant. I love the French language. I took French for 6 years, and I knew the answers to your first two questions. I just didn't think about how many words really have a French origin. Let's bring on Doctor Who. Doctor Who is in the house. We were just discussing Hiett's presentation, and I just wondered if we cannot hear you.
Oh, he was on mute. That was like a deja vu scenario.
Yes.
So my chaise longue.
Yes, chaise longue, raison d'être. So I just wanted to have a little dialogue about the presentation. First of all, Hiett, you're an excellent presenter, and as Dr. Who had mentioned before, you tell us what you're going to tell us, you tell us, and you tell us what you told us. So it's you're quite easy to follow, and I like your personality that you actually put into the presentation. Sometimes we have folks come on here and they're monotone like this the entire time, and so you keep the audience engaged. And then I feel like the lesson that you taught has a lot of value, and maybe people didn't even realize about the origin of these words, or that they're using them or not using them. So I'm going to test myself and see. I think I'm using most of those words, but I'm going to watch the presentation again with my mom and just make sure, see if I'm excellent or not. Dr. Who.
Très bien.
Merci beaucoup.
Très bien, merci.
Enchanté.
De rien. Okay, d'accord. I'm going to take us to a commercial break, and then when we come back, Mr. Ben Chai, Dr. Who, we'll see if you're ready to go. Sound good?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Stay tuned. We're going to hear from a couple of our sponsors, starting off with Margie Cedrone. You want to be a better you? Get a nice piece of artisan customized jewelry for yourself or someone you care about. Located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey, is Margie Cedrone, artisan jeweler. Margie's been in business for more than 30 years. She works with her clients to create custom pieces of jewelry to reflect their personality and help them make their own bold statement. Starting in the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia in 1988, Margie works directly with her clients to develop one-of-a-kind pieces such as necklaces, engagement rings, wedding bands, unique watches and tennis bracelets, as well as a myriad of rings and earrings for everyone in your family. She also has worked directly with Dr. Jacqueline over the years, creating unique pieces of jewelry to reflect her personality. She does pearl stringing and repairs on site, at 121 Haddon Avenue. Call or text Margie at 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone Jewelry is open by appointment only. Make your own bold statement.
It's what we do together that counts. The Big Alliance story. A true story about faith over adversity, perseverance, and entrepreneurship. Read Earl's story and how he became an entrepreneur. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible.com. For more information, contact Earl Hurd at earlhurd@bicalliance.com or call 1-800-460-4242.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Garden. Your host, Diane Boehm. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Diane Floyd Boehm tells wonderful stories that warm the heart, spark the imagination, and unite people and families across generations. For children, Diane's Harry the Camel connects with all of us who've ever wondered how different our lives might have been if only we'd been born something better, like a wonderful horse instead of an ordinary camel. In the end, we all learn along with Harry that there's nothing better than just being yourself. Diane's Little Girl in the Moon looks down on earthbound children and wonders if they know she's just like them. A story of love, home, and the bond between mother and daughter, its powerful theme that we're each of us different yet all of us the same plants a seed in children that promises to blossom within a loving and trusting grown-up. Diane's new biography, Rise, recounts the experiences of her grandmother, Ruby, to reveal the hidden strength of the human spirit. Ruby's story inspires all of us to become the best versions of ourselves. You'll find all of Diane's delightful books and much more at dianefloydboehm.com. Visit dianefloydboehm.com. That's dianefloydboehm.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline presents A Better You, lessons from the best over here and here, coaches and consultants and trusted advisors. And my guests today, Hiett Ives and Ben Chai, Doctor Who of Business. So Hiett just did a fabulous presentation. And if you missed it, you can head over to our YouTube channel, Dr. Jacqueline LLC. You can watch all of our shows there. So, Doctor Who, are you ready to present?
Unmute yourself.
Deja vu again. Do you call two deja vus treja vu?
Treja vu, I like that. Very
some tech, Dr. J. So when you add my slides to the thing, I want to see if I can manipulate them remotely.
Okay, sure. So if you just hit the share button, I'm not going to share it on the screen yet, but if you share it, then I'll be able to see it.
Okay, this is so much fun.
So much fun. The inner workings of StreamYard.
Share screen. Here we go.
It's not sharing it yet.
Share. No.
So folks watching, our presenters are experts. That doesn't mean in technology. So there we go. Okay. So Doctor Who, I think you just have to put it in presentation mode, and then there we go. All right. Hiett, I'm going to put us both backstage. Dr. Who, I'm going to add your presentation, put up the 15-minute timer. Again, there's 2 timers. One is the show time that we've been running, 31 minutes, and the other will be your 15 minutes, okay?
It's show time.
All right, here we go.
Right, so hello, my name is Ben Chai. I will be sharing a talk on how to get to speak on TED and TEDx stages. Now, I'm trying out some new tech, which doesn't work here, Dr. J, so we'll have to just do this in the normal way. That's a shame. And we'll do that.
Dr. Who, I was going to say, sometimes we can start your presentation over, but sometimes what happens with the PowerPoint is it gets stuck and you have to hit the button a few times and then it starts going.
Oh, right. Okay, then. Oh, we really want to be testing these things, don't we, before we get on the stage. Hey, guys, look at all the tech stuff that we have to do to provide you with a great show. All right,
exactly.
because I can't see the screen and the PowerPoint. I'm only seeing the PowerPoint, so I'm not seeing the timing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes it challenging.
Let me try again.
Well, yeah, the timer actually will be up in the corner of your presentation. You should be able to see it.
No, I can just see the thing. Oh, that's working now.
Okay.
Brilliant. Yeah.
All right, so share your screen, please.
Sorry?
Would you share your screen so I can bring it up? Yes.
Oh, yeah, you know,
watching, you have no idea what goes on behind the scenes to deliver a program. There's so many technical things.
Screen. Okay, sharing the screens. Blah 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 blah. Okay. It really says I should have had 2 monitors. I'm so naughty. And
I'm going to bring Hiett back on to talk with us for a little while we figure out the technology.
Yeah, he's a good guy to do that with. I think it's probably when I'm sharing in the window. Well, it didn't appear in the window. You see, it's for me, it's the whole screen. I can't see you.
No, you're not going to see us because I put us backstage. You're just going to see you and your presentation.
Right, yes, but it's not. Oh, hey, that's better. Everything's working now. Yes!
All right, let's start all over. Hiett and I are going backstage. I'll put up the timer. Here we go.
So cool. Hi, everybody. Today I'm going to be sharing on how to get to speak on TED and TEDx stages. My name is Ben Chai. I'm an international speaker. I've spoken to hundreds of thousands of students worldwide in 70 plus countries, spoken on many iconic stages such as TED and TEDx stages, and Microsoft stages, Learning Tree stages, and been on a lot of television, film and theatre programs. Now, I'm going to be sharing some of this presentation on slides, but I won't be reading everything. So I'll just give you a little outline. You guys can read the slides yourself and take notes, but I'm just going to be sharing from those slides little things that are important if you want to be getting onto the TED and TEDx stages. I'll also be sharing why you might want to do that if you do not know what a TED or a TEDx stage is, because it's a stage where you can reach literally millions of people internationally and globally. Their social media alone has 31 million people. So it's a great way for you to get ideas out, to share concepts that are impacting the world today, or if you want to share just something about how you do certain kinds of businesses to empower other business owners around the world. In this 10 minutes, we'll be sharing with you a little bit about what TED and TEDx are, how to apply to get on their stages, and a few tips that will almost kind of like help you more likely get on the stages once you've applied. So without much more, let's get started. First of all, an overview of the TED and TEDx. Well, TED stands for Technology, Entertainment, Design. And essentially that broad concept is what TED is. And you can have any talk which follows broadly, so not exactly, in those components. For example, love doesn't seem to fit in there, but if you make your talk about love entertaining, or you can work a story or a talk with love and technology, perhaps you might think that social media causes love not to be as well received, because now people don't know how to connect with each other. You might give a talk like that, or you could say that actually it helps broadcast love to everyone because now people are better connected. So that broad technology, entertainment, and design is for you to fit any kind of concept and thought processes and ideas that you might have into the overall theme of what TED is. Now, TED was originally set up to help people share ideas worldwide. Any kind of a idea that they might have that's helped them in their lives, and to share those stories to empower people, to inspire and motivate other people. There are so many fantastic TED and TEDx stories which you will see in YouTube. Just type TED or TEDx, and instantly you'll see tons and tons of these stories which will show you different aspects of life. Everything from entertainment, like beatboxing. Not that I am beatboxing, I'm dancing. So you might see one on dance, to some very interesting kinds of technology, futuristic technology, that actually some of the broadcasts were 3 or 4 years ago, and you can now see that technology today. So that's a little bit about what TED is. Now you might be thinking, what's the difference between TED and TEDx? Well, TED is a much bigger platform than TEDx. TEDx is the same as TED, but it's very localized. So you might have, say, 100 people maximum in the physical audience of your TEDx platform, whereas the actual TED platform, you'll see hundreds, maybe thousands of people in that room. TED is also tends to be a more global kind of event, and they've got a number of components within the global TED, such as TED Women, TED Global, and so on. TEDx is a bit more local, so it could be to your university or town, or done in a hotel in your area. So that's the difference between the two. And it's the main benefit, as I said before, is for you to get your stories out there to the world. Very, very good for branding. And I'll give you a few stories of where that's helped me in my life, which was totally unexpected. So once one of my TED Talks called Social Magnetism was out there, some people saw this talk and they tracked me down, they contacted me on LinkedIn, and they either wanted to engage with me in business, or they wanted me to interview me on their own broadcasts, or to share a little bit more about some of my passion projects, which is giving back to the community, especially in the education of children, where they cannot afford to that kind of education for themselves. So this is the importance of why TED and TEDx are amazing for you. So how do you apply for TED events? Well, this is really simple. I get asked this question all the time, and actually it's really easy. You just go to the TED.com website, and there are two kinds of applications, one for TED and one for TEDx. The TED platform itself, you need to be nominated. Of course, you could nominate yourself, or you could get a friend to nominate you, but you need to be nominated. So you go to TED.com, participate, /nominate, and fill in the form there. And that's it. That's all you have to do. They'll have a look at your form. If it's great, they'll accept you. If it's not, they won't. So that's the whole kind of TED nomination. TEDx is a bit easier. So TEDx, you go to the same URL, www.ted.com /TEDx/events. Now, I have a screen that shows you a map, and this map appears when you go to this website. And if you scroll down further, it actually shows the actual events around the world that's happening. All the light blue spots that we see on the screen are where they've got events running, and spaces to view the event are available. All the black spots are either it's a private event, so you're only invited to come, or it's full. That's all that means. Now, when you have a view at the events, you can see what event may be happening, say, a year from now. Now, this is great news for you, because you'll see the event, and as you drill down, so if I clicked on one of those blue spots, or if I scroll down this screen, I will see an event, for example, in Austin, Texas. And I will see the event, and if I clicked on the event, I will see who the organizer is, and then I can, if the organizer has shared their contact details via LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, then I can contact the organizer directly. The second way for me to do this is to find out where the event is being held and who's running it, and then either phone up or send the organizers an email to see whether you can speak in that event. Now, an alternative for you applying yourself is to get a PR agent to fill in the forms. You might know the organizers. So many of the TEDx events are held at universities. Now, if you know the university organizers, then it's very likely that you can apply as a friend to that person. Obviously, you need to be good at your talk, and as long as your talk fits into the theme of that TEDx event, then you are very likely to get on the stage. You're very more likely because you're a known quantity rather than someone who's filled in a random application. There also may be last-minute changes. So if you're rejected to being on a TEDx platform, that's fine. Keep in touch with the organizers, because sometimes people, for whatever reason, have to drop out of the event. A final way to get on the stage is you could be a moderator for the event, or you could provide some entertainment, a bit of comedy, some dance, a poem, any kind of, if you like, a transition between a set of talks and another set of talks. So that's an alternative way for you to get on the TED or the TEDx stages. Now, when you're filling in the form, you might want to try and bias it to get your application at least verified, and you ask to see whether you're suitable. So one way you can bias it is, first of all, ensure your talk works with the theme of that conference. So if the theme is, for example, how technology can impact the next 2 years, your talk needs to be within that theme, or else they'll reject it. Have a catchy title. So one of my TED Talks, which was purely I purely got in because of the title, and it was called Lessons from a Recovering Coward. And the organizers said, this was the best title we've ever heard. We had to come and see you. Have a great theme synopsis. So for that talk, Lessons from a Recovering Coward, I just shared these are lessons to show that where cowardice has really helped people in their lives, and where courage has actually caused them problems, and then flipped it, where cowardice has actually caused you major problems, and where courage is appropriate. So it's a bit of yin and yang. And that was the theme synopsis. The third tip I'd like to share with you, fourth tip, is to give a 10 to 15 minute talk on your title. So don't just send them the title. See if you can give a 10 to 15 minute talk, because a 15-minute talk is roughly the maximum for your talk. So see if you can give that talk without filling it with waffle. Yeah. So you really want to give them focused tips, information, education, and entertainment. Yeah. So stay focused on that title. Okay, so that's the end of this particular lesson. There are other lessons in this series that you might find useful. How to structure your TED Talk. That's really, really important, because some people overload people with their 15 minutes, too much information, or as I said, they just waffle. The next one you might find useful is how to maximize the day of your TED and TEDx speech. A lot of people, they just come along, give their speech and leave. But actually, there are so many interesting people in not just the stage, but the room, the people who come to see the people who you might want to network with. And also, there are various things on the day that could throw you off, such as the projector failing. How are you going to give that talk when your projector doesn't work? And that's one of the things that happened to me. So, and finally, the key promotional activities, which don't cost you anything, to have your TED talk seen worldwide. Now, the majority of TEDx talks have about at most 5,000 or 6,000 views. My TED talk itself, the largest number of views has been over 400,000. So in that series, in that particular lesson, I'll be sharing some of the activities you should engage in to help more people around the world understand the concepts that you were sharing to help enable them in their lives. All right, so that's the talk. I have a few questions for you. Let's see if you can answer these questions, and we'll then hand you back to our wonderful moderators. So the first question is, how can you find information about TED and TEDx talks happening in your area and around the world? That's question one. Question two is, what's the difference between TED and TEDx? The third question is, list 4 ways to get on the TED or the TEDx stage. The fourth question, why is a video of your talk important? And finally, what evidence will help you get on the TED and the TEDx stages? In fact, I never asked you and told you how to do that, so I'm going to give you the answers straight away here. Yeah, if you have evidence of you either in interviews or YouTube, of you giving talks, or you've written a book, or there's an article in a newspaper about you, those are great pieces of evidence that will help the organizers think, this person could be of interest. So I've given you actually 5 questions, but I've answered the 5th for you. How wonderful is that? My name is Ben, and I hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and that you'll come back and watch a lot more of the lessons that I'll be sharing on this platform.
Bravo, bravo. Well done.
Absolutely.
So I noticed, Hiett, you were taking notes, and so was I. And this is a topic that I always wondered about. I always wanted to know about TED and TEDx, what the difference was, how you applied. So thank you so much for sharing this topic. I have some follow-up questions about TED and TEDx, but before I do, I want to just let you know, I thought your presentation was outstanding. Obviously, you have considerable experience. You're an international speaker, and I love that you also put your personality into it, and you seemed very excited about what you're speaking, and the fact that you are a TED and TEDx speaker obviously ends credibility, authenticity, and so I just think you did a fabulous job. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm actually a bit out of experience. I haven't done this for a while, since COVID. I haven't given a presentation.
Well, we're glad that you're here giving the presentation, so thank you. Hiett, anything you'd like to add?
Not at this point. I'm good.
Okay, perfect. So I did have a couple of questions, which maybe some of our viewers are interested in. I've never actually heard of a TED or TEDx talk taking place anywhere near where I am. And I thought, I wonder how you get invited just to listen, so that you can see someone else doing it real time.
Yeah, so you should really go to the link I sent and click on one of those blue spots, yes?
Okay.
And go to the event. Unless somebody actually invites you, and so every speaker has 2 tickets, but they don't always tell their friends or bring friends along.
Okay, so it's just, you can go on to the TED.com, you can look at the map and then just click on there. Or if you know someone and they only have 2 tickets and they decide to invite you, well, aren't you special? That's great.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The platform has, on the TEDx, you can have up to 100 people, unless somebody goes and gets trained on the TED platform, and they can have more than 100. But if they've only got like 4 speakers, yeah, that's that shows you that they've got loads of tickets.
Okay. Very good.
Eight. You can work that out for yourself. And most TEDx events have about at most 12 speakers, so that's 24 people plus the speakers, 36. So there's still places for people to go and apply to be there.
I've always been impressed when someone says that they're a TED or TEDx speaker, but I didn't actually know what it meant. So now I actually get, I have a little better perspective. So thank you for sharing that topic. Very interesting.
Great. Would you like to come back and see some of the other lessons?
I certainly would. Where do I go to see them?
I like that.
I guess we come back to a better you right here on social media and Business Talk Radio. I love it.
The thing is, the reason why some of the other talks, they only have a few thousand views is because they haven't structured the talk in an easy way. And I mentioned that in what I was sharing. Sometimes they've just overloaded people with too much information, or they haven't learned, as you've said with Hiett, voice intonation, and to change it so it is very monotone. They're talking, people just think, oh, after 1 or 2 minutes, I don't want to watch the rest of this.
Very true.
One of the things, and Dr. Ben, you're probably Toastmastering. I've been a Toastmaster for many, many years, and if somebody really wants to get into doing TED Talks and speaking professionally over a period of time, go to a Toastmasters club, join a Toastmasters club, participate. It's the best practice you'll ever get.
Hiett, is that online right now as well?
Yes. I've been a Toastmaster literally for 50 years. I had 50 years in Toastmastering, but the last year, all of COVID, we've been virtual. But even in the virtual,
I know. I thought you were going to get a piece of bread.
I was going to put a piece of bread in the toaster, but that was too obvious. Yeah, it's a wonderful organization. I'm not a part of Toastmasters, but a friend of mine, she is in charge of her kind of, I can't remember what you call it, club, Toastmaster club, yeah. Or loaf.
No,
sorry.
Club.
But anyway, so I was invited along, and it was quite interesting because I gave a talk on their. They invited me up for their, what do you call it? Where you have to give random talks. They give you
table topics.
Table topics. That's yes. Right. So I won that competition, and then I had 4 or 5 of the people ask me afterwards, we don't get taught to speak like you at Toastmasters. Will you teach us how to do it? So that was interesting.
Well, obviously today we're here with 2 experts, and it's been a real pleasure. I look forward to watching the lessons again with my mom after the end of the day. So Hiett, I'm going to start with you for your contact information. I'm going to spotlight you, and then if you can tell people the best way to find you and what value you offer to help them.
Real simple. It's Hiett at hiettives.com, and I spell Hiett Hiett. So Hiett at hiettives.com, and 832-372-6900. That's 832-372-6900. You can also find me on LinkedIn.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Ben Chai, Doctor Who of Business. How can people reach you? How can we find your books, I should say?
In fact, just connect with me on Linktree Ben Chai, and Linktree is spelled like this: linktr.ee/Ben BEN Chai, Ben Chai. So link.e/Ben Chai, and all my contacts will be there. How wonderful is that?
And Doctor Who, we can also find you on Clubhouse in your club, Social Magnetism, correct?
Yes, Social Magnetism, based after the TED talk I gave with the TED platform.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both again. I really appreciate you being here. I'm just going to close out the show with some more announcements. So I will let you take off for the rest of the evening. And I thank you again for being here.
Our pleasure. My pleasure.
And Hiett, it's always a pleasure to watch you in action. I've seen your best of you talks, and fantastic seeing your knowledge of the languages, French and English now.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll be in touch.
Okay, yay. Wonderful. Yay. All right, bye, gentlemen. See you later.
Bye, Dr. J.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to thank you again. We have had 4 shows today. We started out this morning with Celebrate Great Britain Royally Rich Show. Then we had the Underdog Show, the Business Talk Show, and now A Better You. So if you missed any of those programs, today was a banner day. We've had amazing guests, amazing presentations. Head over to Dr. Jacqueline, LLC on YouTube and subscribe. Just click on subscribe. Okay, coming up, we have another show, as I mentioned, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which is midnight in British Summer Time. And my co-host is the lovely Kimmy Seltzer, and our guest is Bobby Hang, and Bobby is joining us from the UK, so I appreciate Bobby staying up late to be on the program. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, we have It's Your Show, and my co-host is joining us from France. Her name is Azadeh, and our guest is Nina Christofferson. I believe she's joining us from the UK. That's our first show at 12:30 Eastern or 5:30 British Summer Time. At 2 p.m., we have A Better You, and coming back is our veteran, Megan Sandwick. She's been here many times. She's getting that playlist almost finished. She's so close. So join us 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which would be 7 p.m. British Summer Time. And then at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, and 9 o'clock British Summer Time, we have It's All About Dating with our co-host, Lisa Manioki. And joining us is our guest, Arlene Washburn. Then on Friday, we have not 4, not 5. We have 6 shows on Friday. I better get my sleep Thursday night. On A Better You at 10:30, our brand new show, 10:30 in the morning, Eastern Time, 3:30 British Summer Time. Philip Sykes, he is from the British School of Etiquette, and he is going to teach us a lesson, which I can't wait for. 12 o'clock, we have fashion, fitness, travel, and leisure. You don't want to miss this show. My co-host and I, Diane Floyd-Beam, we get all dressed up, decked out, and we talk about fun topics. And our guest, this woman not only has a 6-pack abs, I think she has like a 12-pack. I've never seen anything like it. She's a model, fitness expert. She has her own business. Her name is Emma Porce, and she'll be joining us, I believe, from the UK. Then at, let's see, I have a story to tell at 1:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 British Summer Time. And we are joined by a voiceover artist. She's also an actress. Her name is Esther Brzezinski. At 3:30, Pet Psychic Amina. Yay! Everybody loves the Pet Psychic. We get to learn how to speak to our animals, what our animals are trying to say to us, how we should speak to plants, because plants need to hear voice to thrive and to grow just like people. And Amina is our guest. She's the co-host and she's also the guest. She's going to tell us about her journey as a pet psychic. She gets asked all the time, when did you realize you were a pet psychic? You know, did you have to do training? Did it come to you naturally? So she's going to fill in all those details for us. 5 o'clock, we have a guest who canceled. So we now have an opening and we are working on that. And at 6 o'clock, we have the variety show. And our guest for the variety show is, drum roll, where is it? It is Karen Yosu. And she is from family law. She's a family law practice. She specializes in divorce. And she is a friend of my co-host, Lori Mendelson. So we've got a full plate. We're glad that you're with us. Last thing I want to mention is I have a new book coming out. What? Yes. And the book is called Behind the Green Screen: How to Succeed in the Live Broadcasting Business, coming soon. What does that mean? That means that my book coach and I are in the final stages, making sure everything looks pretty, all the pictures are where they're supposed to go. And we're meeting next week on Monday, and then we're going to launch it for pre-sale. And then the actual date that we will be going for sale on Amazon is June 17th. Why? It's my mother's birthday. Why not? I want to dedicate the book to my mom and to my dad, and so I'd like to have it launched on her actual birthday. So they're all my messages for today, and as I like to say, that's a wrap. We'll see you sometime later this evening. Bye.